Methods in action research. Action research as a methodology is not driven by any one particular method, but by a certain philosophy. It's inherently reflexive, iterative, and action and change oriented. It's about my practice in my particular context. Action research is not a method or a procedure for research, but a series of commitments to observe and problematize through practice a series of principles for conducting social inquiry. McTaggart, cited in McAteer, 2013. But we will, of course, be using existing theory to inform where we start, what we're looking for, and where we might go. However, opinions do vary on how much we should start from existing theory or how much we should begin with a blank slate. But what are our options for our data collection and analysis methods? Primarily, action research is qualitative in its nature. The precise forms of data collection may well emerge as the research develops. Research diaries or journals are very common, and these allow themes to emerge as the project progresses and the researcher's ideas become clearer. Critical incident analysis can form a very useful way of analysing and interacting with this research diary. Interviews are a very common part of action research. Questionnaires are often used. Care must be taken with the questions, which will depend on the context, for example, the age of the particular students to be studied. Data may also come from document analysis, looking at the various documents around a school. Classroom observations are a very common source of data for action research, but the researcher should be clear before undertaking the observation what it is he or she is looking for. Videoing the lesson or activity can be a helpful way of recording our data. Student work samples and assessment pieces form another common data collection method. There's nothing wrong in action research. Indeed, it's a positive part of action research that our data should be personal and particular, so it may well contain stories and anecdotes. Our analysis of that data will be common to the same data methods used in other areas. Really thorough immersion in your data is very important. Some common themes for analysing unstructured data include reflecting on our research diary, discourse analysis, conversational analysis, and thematic analysis. We need to remember that our data is highly contextualized, and so what we find is often not very generalizable. Action research is about generating theory and using that, rather than subjecting our practice to the application of already existing theory. To keep going through the data, reading, annotating, until themes emerge and we start to form a picture of what's happening. Keeping our project feasible is really important. An action research project needs to stick to what is possible and practical. It's easy to go beyond what can be reasonably done in one project in one time span. And the practitioner needs to be alert to what data we're going to have access to. For example, we're unlikely to have access to the students' welfare data. Action research, then, is driven by a philosophy of research for change and its cyclical model, rather than any particular method of data collection or analysis.